You can use inserted or linked CAD data within a Revit model as an underlay, and then model building objects such as walls, doors, and windows by either tracing over the CAD lines or by using the Pick Lines option. In this model, a two-dimensional CAD floor plan of an existing building has been linked. You can use that CAD file as an underlay to build actual Revit geometry. On the Manage ribbon, in the Manage Project panel, click Manage Links. Revit displays the Manage Links dialog. On the CAD Formats tab, you can see that there is a linked DWG file. The dialog shows the name of the linked file, its status, its file size, its saved path, and its path type. When you select the linked file, the other tools become active. You could click Save Positions to save the position of the file relative to the shared coordinate system in the host project. You can also reload the linked file, unload the linked file, change it from a linked file to an imported file, or remove the link from the project. Also, pay attention to Preserve Graphic Overrides. Select this option if you want to retain any graphic overrides. Click Cancel to close the dialog. When you select the CAD file, Revit displays a contextual ribbon, including draw order tools to move the linked CAD file to the back or bring it to the front. There are also tools to delete layers or query the CAD file. Click Query. Then zoom in on the upper left corner of the floor plan and select one of the teal lines in the interior of the wall. Revit displays the Import Instance Query dialog, which displays information about the object you just selected, including the name of the layer on which that line was drawn. At this point, you can hide that layer in the current view or delete the layer from Revit. Click Hide in View. After you do, the Query tool remains active. Select another line inside the wall. Again, Revit displays the Import Instance Query dialog and shows you that this line is on the A-Wall Pat layer. This time, click Delete. Deleting layers will not affect the original AutoCAD drawing file, even though the file is linked. The layer is simply deleted from the Revit project. Now that the CAD data has been simplified, you are ready to start placing actual Revit walls. If you want to match the thickness of the walls in the CAD file, you can measure them to determine their thickness. On the contextual ribbon, in the Measure panel, click Measure between two references. Zoom in a bit and measure the thickness of the wall. To place Revit walls over the CAD file, from the Architecture ribbon, in the Build panel, start the Wall tool. On the Options bar, set the location line to Finish Face Exterior and make sure that Chain is selected. In the Type selector, you should choose an appropriate wall type that matches the thickness of the wall. For this example, leave the type set to Generic 8-inch or Generic 200 mm wall in the metric file. Remember that when placing walls, if you work in a clockwise direction, the exterior face of the wall will face the outside of the building. Also, Revit will automatically find the center of two closely spaced parallel lines. This is beneficial when placing walls, or other elements, along the center line of walls. Click the exterior corner to begin placing walls. Work your way clockwise around the perimeter of the building and back to the starting point. To place interior walls, expand the type selector and choose Generic 5-inch or Interior Stud Steel 90 in the metric file. In the Draw panel, choose Pick Lines. On the Options bar, ensure the location line is set to Finish Face Exterior. Then, start selecting the faces of the corridor walls in the CAD file to place interior walls. As you move the cursor, you can see the location of the wall center line. If you place a wall in the wrong location, you can use the flip control to correct its placement. Place a few more walls to create some rooms. You can use the trim tools to clean up the wall intersections. For example, use Trim Extend to Corner to extend the corridor walls to each other, and then use Trim Extend Multiple Elements to extend them to the exterior walls. Click Modify to end the command when you are finished. You can continue using these methods to create the remaining walls. Next, you can place doors at the proper locations. To do this, you may want to move the CAD file to the foreground. Select the CAD file. Then, in either the Properties palette or the Options bar, change the Draw layer to Foreground, and then click in an empty spot to deselect the CAD file. Now you can more easily see where to place doors. Note that the ability to move the CAD file to the background or foreground is only available when working with a 2D CAD file. When you link or import a CAD file, you can flatten it to 2D by choosing Current View Only. If the CAD file is 3D, you can also change the visual style to wireframe in order to more easily see where to insert doors and windows. From the Architecture ribbon, in the Build panel, start the Door tool. Remember that doors are hosted by walls, so you must move the cursor over a wall. Click to place a door slightly to the left of the door shown in the CAD file. If you do not place a door in the correct location, you can use the Align tool to match the door to the underlying CAD geometry.